The morning sun poured gently through the curtains of Gina's bedroom. She stood by the mirror. Her brown skin glowed in the soft light. Her eyes looked calm, but her mind was full. As she dressed for her day, she paused. Her fingers reached beneath her shirt and touched the colorful beads that hugged her waist. She smiled. That waist bead had been with her for many years. She remembered the day she got it. It was a rainy evening. She was just 17, sitting on the wooden bench in their living room with her grandmother, Nene. Nene's hands were old, wrinkled, but full of warmth. She opened a small red pouch and brought out something shiny and delicate. "Wear this waist bead," Nene said in a low voice. "It will protect you from any evil eyes." Gina stared at the bead. "What kind of evil eyes, Grandma?" Nene looked straight into her eyes. "Some eyes pretend to admire you, but they hate you. This bead will protect you from them." Gina took it and nodded. "Thank you, Grandma." From that day, Gina wore it. She never took it off, not even when she went to sleep. It became part of her. Years passed. Gina became one of the most sought-after models in the country. She was beautiful, disciplined, and humble. Modeling agencies loved her. People said she had it, that quiet power, that grace, that glow. But what they didn't know was that Gina's strength came from two women, her mother Jane and her grandmother Nene. Jane had raised her alone since her father died when she was just a baby. Jane worked 2 jobs and never stopped believing in her daughter. "You are made for something great," she often told Gina. And Nene, the wise woman who prayed every morning and rubbed her knees with hot shea butter, never stopped warning Gina about jealousy. One day, Gina went for a photo shoot with other girls. It was a big skincare campaign. Everyone wanted to be the face of it. The photographer's eyes lit up when Gina walked in. "Gina, great timing," he said. "We'll start with you." Susan, one of the models, frowned. Helen leaned close to her. "Why are they treating her like a queen?" she whispered, loud enough for Susan to hear. Susan folded her arms. "I don't know. Maybe she's using that waist bead of hers. That girl never takes it off." Helen raised her brow. "You have a point. Maybe it's not just for decoration. Maybe it's something more." From that moment, whispers started. The other girls watched Gina more closely. They laughed when she wasn't looking. "She's probably using that waist bead to charm the agency," one said. "No wonder she keeps getting the best shoots." It didn't stop there. Anytime Gina landed a major ad or was seen going on a nice date, the gossip got louder. "She's lucky because of that bead," they would say. "If not, she's not better than the rest of us." One afternoon during a shoot, things reached a boiling point. "I'm not doing this," Susan said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "What's the problem now?" the photographer asked. "I won't take pictures with Gina unless she removes that thing on her waist." "What thing?" the confused photographer asked. "That waist bead." Helen nodded. "She always wears it. It's not fair. We're tired." Gina was stunned. "I can't believe you all are saying this," she whispered, her voice trembling. Susan stepped closer. "Take it off, Gina. If you're really talented, you won't need that charm." The other girls laughed behind her. Gina turned and walked quickly into the restroom. Tears rolled down her face as she stared at herself in the mirror. She wanted to scream, but she held herself together. The next day, Gina returned to work, smiling. She wasn't going to let them break her. She wore her waist bead like always and walked into the room with confidence. But the girls had planned something cruel. "Gina, come sit with us," Susan called out sweetly. Gina smiled and walked towards them. Suddenly, her leg slipped. She fell hard to the floor. Her dress got wet. The girls burst into laughter. "Your magic bead didn't save you," Susan laughed. Helen pointed. "Look, maybe she peed on herself." Gina got up slowly, looked down, and saw a small pool of liquid. Her eyes met Susan's. They planned this. Dear amazing viewers, what do you think Gina will do? Will she fight back or walk away? Keep watching to find out. And please give this video a thumbs up and kindly click on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much. Now, back to the story. Gina walked away quietly, cleaned herself, and returned for the shoot. When she stepped into the studio, the room froze. She looked even more beautiful, even more determined. She smiled, posed, and gave her best. The photographer couldn't stop clicking. Susan gritted her teeth. "This is not over," she whispered. So, they came up with another plan. One day, Gina was walking down the staircase. Someone pushed her. She tumbled down and landed with a loud thud. The girls panicked and ran, except Susan. She bent down, looked around, and quickly removed the waist bead from Gina's waist. "Let me see you shine without this," she muttered. Gina was rushed to the hospital. Later that evening, a tall, handsome man walked into her room holding flowers. He smiled warmly. "Hi, I'm Eric. I just bought into the modeling agency you work for. I heard what happened." Gina smiled weakly. "Thank you. I'll be fine." "Is there anything I can do for you?" he asked. "Number the doctors say I'll be okay in a few days." Eric visited her again the next day. They talked, they laughed, they connected. When Gina was discharged, Eric drove her home. He brought flowers and chocolates. They sat on her porch, watching the sunset. Meanwhile, Susan had started wearing the waist bead. She came to work that week with a new attitude. Bossy, loud, rude. "I'm the new star now," she told everyone. "Gina's gone. I'm the future." She refused to take directions. She rolled her eyes at the photographer. The pictures came out bad. No spark, no warmth. The girls began to whisper again, but this time it was about Susan. "What's wrong with her?" one of them asked. "She's changed," said another. "She's not Gina." Days later, Gina returned. The room lit up. Everyone rushed to hug her. Even the agency staff smiled brightly, except Susan. She watched from the corner, stunned. "Why is she still getting attention?" she muttered. "I'm the one with the waist bead now." But no one wanted to be around Susan. Her energy was cold, arrogant. She tried to talk to Eric, but he barely noticed her. He was only interested in Gina. Susan felt invisible. She went home that night and stared at herself in the mirror. "This bead is useless," she hissed. She tore it from her waist and threw it on the floor, crushing it beneath her foot. The next morning, she woke up sick. Body aches, fever, terrible dreams. She couldn't come to work. When the other girls heard, they laughed. "She deserves it," one said, "with her nasty attitude." But Gina didn't laugh. She went to visit Susan. She brought fruits and fresh flowers. Susan looked shocked. "You came?" "Of course," Gina smiled. That night, Susan had a terrifying dream. An old woman stood over her bed. "Return what you stole," she said, in a voice that echoed like thunder. "Only then will you be healed." Susan woke up shaking. The next day, she sent for Gina. She cried as she spoke. "I took your waist bead. I thought it gave you everything, but I was wrong. Please forgive me." Gina looked at her and nodded. "I forgive you." The next day, Susan got better, and for the first time, she felt peace. The other girls, upon hearing the truth, realized Gina's success had nothing to do with the bead. It was her discipline, her beauty, her kindness. They apologized to Gina. Helen's eyes filled with tears. "We were jealous, Gina, but now we see clearly. You worked hard for everything you have." Gina looked at them warmly. "It's okay. I've been hurt. Bullying someone is never the solution to any issue. I forgive you. Just let this be a lesson. Envy never leads to peace." Susan nodded slowly. "Thank you, Gina. You're stronger than all of us." They sat down together in the small break room, and for the first time in weeks, they laughed over tea. "I hope we can start again," Helen said, offering her hand. "This time, as real friends." Gina smiled and took it. "Only if you're ready to walk in truth and not in gossip." From that day, the tension faded, and the workplace felt like family again, with Gina at the heart of it, not because of any bead, but because of who she truly was. Eric invited Gina out again, then again. One evening, under the stars, he pulled out a small box. Gina gasped softly as Eric opened the box. Inside was a beautiful ring, simple but elegant, with a small diamond that sparkled gently in the evening light. Eric took a breath, looking into her eyes. "Gina," he began, "from the first moment I met you in that hospital room, I knew you were special, not because of your beauty or your career, but because of your heart." Gina's hands trembled slightly. She blinked, unsure of what was happening. "I've seen how you treat people, how you carry yourself with grace, even when others try to break you. You've shown me what real strength looks like. I want to walk beside you in life. Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in Gina's eyes. For a second, she couldn't speak. Then she smiled, warm and true. "Yes, Eric," she whispered. "Yes, I will marry you." He slipped the ring onto her finger, and they held each other tightly under the stars, surrounded by the quiet hum of the night. The next day, news of the engagement spread through the agency. There was shock, there was surprise, and then there was joy. Helen and the other girls came around. Even Susan, now softer and more reflective, hugged Gina and wished her well. At the celebration party, everyone gathered in a small garden. There was food, music, and laughter. Jane, Gina's mother, wore a proud smile. Nenny sat nearby, her eyes full of wisdom and peace. She looked at Gina and called her softly, "My child." Gina knelt beside her grandmother. "You've grown into a powerful woman," Nini said gently, "but now you know it was never the bead." Gina nodded. "I know now, Grandma. The real protection was in your prayers, in Mama's love, and in how I chose to live." "And that," Nini said, "will always be stronger than any charm." Later that night, Gina went home and took the broken pieces of the waist bead Susan had returned. She placed them inside the red pouch Nini had once used. Then she tucked it away in a drawer, not because she needed it, but because it was a reminder of everything she had overcome, of how darkness couldn't hide her light, of how love, humility, and strength would always outshine envy. And from that moment on, Gina walked boldly into her future, not with magic, but with the truth of who she was. A queen, even without a crown. A star, even without a stage. And a woman who had finally learned that the real power was within her all along. Before you watch the next video, kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Please click on the subscribe button and like this video. Be a part of my channel's growth by clicking on the next video on the screen and drop a comment to let me know what you think about the story. Thank you for watching, and much appreciation.